Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with TechButt Solutions, and in this video, we're gonna change things up. Just to make it short and sweet, I had a red day, and not only a normal red day, but I was down 3.5K at one point. And just to cover that in very simple terms, /CL changed its direction. It offered a horizontal pattern. It ultimately changed that. Today was the crude oil report, which is every single Wednesday, 1 hour after the market opens. If you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group and you got to see me trade live, that's exactly what you experienced today. I went live for a little bit over 1 hour with them, and they get to see where I buy, where I sell, and all that fun stuff. And the crude oil report came out. I initially had to cut losses because there's a change of direction on the original trade that I took advantage of, but I don't even want to get into that. What I want to talk about was there was a change of direction. And this is what really messed me up. There was a change of direction. Crude oil report came out. It shot crude oil, became super aggressive, and then began to sell off. And then ultimately, it began to then show signs of an uptrend and then aggressively sold off once again. It just continued and continued to change directions. And this is where I became very flustered and very frustrated. And at the end of the day, there is no other excuse other than understanding the emotional state that you are in. And I was just so frustrated. It became very apparent to everyone that works here around me that, I probably shouldn't be someone that you want to talk to right now, just because I was so annoyed. So what I ended up having to do is I was down 3.5K, so $3,500, which is about 3.5%. I trade with $100,000. I had to step away from my computer. I went ahead and I took a shower, and then I came back. And I came back with a much more refreshed approach. I began to focus so much less on revenge trading and trying to make my money back that I felt was taken away from me. And I solely focused so much more on criteria and what actually matters. And what I mean by that is, how many of you guys have ever been in a position where you're choosing to take a series of number of different trades, but it's just not going your way? And then you just become so frustrated that you just begin to overtrade. And that's exactly the point where I was put in today. And once I came back, I reminded myself about this criteria checklist that I made for myself. This is one thing that I put together that not only provides value for myself, but also for the Learn Plan Profit members. And it simply covers a list. It simply covers a number of different things that I like to focus on when it comes down to taking a position. I think that we can all agree that not every opportunity is worth taking. But when I was in that position where I was so frustrated, I wasn't thinking clearly. I was, taking advantage supposedly of every opportunity that was, pointed in my direction. And because the direction continued to change, then I just became more and more frustrated, which then put me in a deeper and deeper hole, 3.5K. And I started to see things change when I allowed the opportunity to present itself. There's three main things that I like to focus on. Making sure that the direction is in my favor and clear. For me to understand that the direction is in my favor. The second thing that I like to focus on is making sure that the opportunity cost is worth it. Meaning that if I go in, that the margin of profit outweighs the margin of loss. And then one of the last things that I like to focus on is for there to be a pattern in which that I can identify. Since I'm a technical trader, I like to focus on those three patterns. These series of different things that I talk about in the criteria checklist are things that just make it that much more clear for me to make sure that every time that I take my next position, that it meets my criteria. And this is one thing that I wanted to share with you guys. For all those that are maybe struggling in taking quality positions, for those that are sometimes struggling with structure in their trades and not being as efficient or even over trading when it comes down to taking those series of positions, I wanted to share this with you. So you do have to have a Facebook account. And if you don't have a Facebook account, then make one and you can download it. It's going to be that first link in the description. All you have to do is click that link. I'm going to automatically send you this perfect position checklist, but I don't just want you to, focus on what I have written down. That's a foundation in which you can build off of. What I want you to do is I want to ask you this question. What does a perfect position look like to you? And what do I mean by that? So if you were to visualize a perfect trade setup, what would that be made out of? Where is your EMA line? What indicators are you looking at? What kind of patterns do you like to focus on? Are you waiting for higher highs? Does it have to be above the EMA? How much margin of profit has to be there? These are all things that you need to take into consideration to make sure that moving forward, every single position that you take is actually worth it. And that's all I'm going to leave you with. I dug myself out of a hole from 3.5K, and I want to show you this. I still ended, there's no question, I still ended the day in the red. But I ended the day at $740 of a loss, right? I trade with over $100,000, and I made $1,300 on DWT. I took a $2,000 loss on UWT. At the end of the day, yes, it was not a perfect green day. It was not green at all, but I made sure that I had a comeback, right? I made sure that I understood the position that I was in. I stepped away from that situation and I came back with so much more of a refreshed mind. And that is exactly what assisted me in my success in recovering from a 3.5K loss to a $700 loss. And again, trading with $100,000, losing and managing my risk at less than 1%, I still think is a win when it comes down to risk management. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. I wanted to kind of explain my thought process and what made me kind of like dig myself in such a big hole and how I made that comeback. So I hope that this checklist is something that brings value to you, and I hope it's something that you can build off of and being able to write down the certain criteria that every stock has to meet before you take your next position. So again, that's going to be that first link in the description. All you have to do is once you click it, I'm going to send you a message right away on Facebook Messenger, and all it's going to ask you is download the checklist, and it's going to be that simple. We're going to give you a PDF copy and you can download it, have it on your phone, have it on your computer, but every single time moving forward that you choose to take a position, I just want to make sure that you do your part as a successful and efficient trader to make sure that it meets every single criteria on your checklist, or you simply don't take it. Again, that's not the amount of trades that you take, but making sure that you focus on those quality trades. I really do appreciate your guys' time. I do want to remind you that tomorrow is my favorite day to day trade in the stock market. It's the natural gas report. Today was the crude oil report. Tomorrow is the natural gas report. That's going to be 1 hour after the market opens. You heard me talk about them within this video. It's the Learn Plan Profit group. It's the only group that I work with and assist on a daily basis. So if you're someone that's just getting started and needs more assistance, and you think that you can benefit from being able to watch me day trade live every single day, Monday through Friday in the stock market, then dedicate 5 minutes, click that third link in the description and learn a little bit more about our Learn Plan Profit group. If you're looking for more of a free alternative, we have a free Facebook group with nearly 220,000 members all over the world. And again, if you want to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, that's a great way to start. Hope I earned your thumbs up. Hope you guys could subscribe. Feel free to comment down any thoughts down in the comment section. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.